The Wild Wild West. Is it back? Maybe, maybe not. This last Monday, March 27, 2017, President Trump signed 4 joint resolutions of Congress in a signing ceremony. Among these was Joint Resolution number 44. This resolution pertains to the Bureau of Land Management, Department of Interior, relating to resource management planning, published at 81 Federal Register 89580, December 12th, 2016.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you everybody for being here. I want to welcome many state and local leaders, and we've had them all over the White House today, and it's a great honor. I'm signing 4 bills under the Congressional Review Act. Before this administration, only one time in our history had a president signed a bill that used the CRA to cancel a federal regulation. So we're doing a lot of them, and they deserve to be done. The next 3 bills I'm signing cancel 3 federal power grabs that centralize decision-making in Washington away from states and local governments. Another big disaster. House Joint Resolution 44 removes a Bureau of Land Management rule that took control of land use decisions away from states and local decision makers and gave it to Washington, and that's not good. That's never good. History has proven that's not good. Who gets this, Pat?
I do.
Thank you, Mr. That's okay. Okay. So I just want to thank everybody. It's an honor. This was a lot of work for a lot of people to get this done, but it's going to lead to a lot of jobs and a lot less regulation, and it's going to be good for many, many, many people. So thank you all very much. Thank you all very much.
I want to bring Gerard Apria in, and going to take on this. Gerard,
okay.
What do you think this did? What do you think the overall effect of this is?
Well, basically, it says that rule has no force and effect. Now, why did he do that? Because they've been using that against the people for years now, with all the rules and the environmental impact statements that they've been putting these ranchers through, who have been ranching and managing the land for years and doing just a fine job. And now, in order to do anything, they got them jumping through hoops that nobody can afford to, and they're selling the land off to foreign governments in order to steal the uranium and the mineral. There's no reason for a rancher to do an environmental impact study. They've been studying and doing the environmental conservation there all their lives. They know how to do it. Their business, that's why we've been able to feed the world. So basically, the government's the only one who should be doing environmental impact studies. If they want to come into a public land and sell off the minerals to pay the public debt or whatever they think that whatever scheme they have going, they're the ones that need to do the environmental impact if they're going to be ripping minerals and stuff out of the grazing lands of the farmers. They're the ones that need to do those studies, not the farmers. So apparently Donald Trump understands the chilling effect this has had on the economy in the West and on our food prices over here in America. You know, I mean, it's a shame. We're buying beef from Argentina and every place else because they can do it cheaper than we can now. We used to have the greatest production country in the world when it came to agriculture and farming. And I know, Terry, you know, during the trials and stuff, where with the Hammonds, with the backfires, and they accused them of ruining the land. and there was a outside agency that came in and said, no, in fact, all their activities improved the land and improved the fauna and flora that was there that wouldn't in there had they not been managing the water and taking out the sagebrush, you know what I mean, and burning off and letting the grass grow. So
Yeah, it was actually the ranchers that built the Malheur Reservoir.
right. So all you Eastern planning, zoning, environmental people, you can stop wringing your hands saying that Trump is going to destroy your environment and your economy. Apparently, he understands it way better than you do, because these farmers and ranchers have been running fine for hundreds of years, and to make them jump through the hoops that they've been doing now and stealing this land and locking them out and gathering up their cattle and burning them because they want to pull money out of the land and sell to Russia and China in order to cover the debt that they built illegally and line their pockets, like Harry Reid's, whose son was brokering a real estate deal with China, and ergo the Bundy Ranch debacle. So this is what's going on, folks. Get the information. Go ahead.
So another aspect is 43 USC Section 52, paragraph I. And if I might read that, it says that, it was there. Get to the, when you want to do it. Yeah. It's on the applicability of provisions to rights, etc. Nothing in this act shall be construed as modifying in any way existing on October 21st with respect to the creation of right, title, interest, or estate in or to public lands or lands in national forests by issuance of grazing permits and leases. And I just want to say that it is that phrase that if somebody had rights before 76, they still have those rights. And the BLM, by coming and trying to make these big resource management plans, even though they might talk to some of the populace, they still had no rights. And I think the BLM was using the FLPMA to kind of get a crowbar effect to leveraging themselves into being the owners and the land, the proper management people. They're not. And I agree with you, Gerard, that they stepped on themselves, because that already existed years before this came in.
Yeah, so they're all their planning and their environmental impacts were contradictory to what the farmers already had as rights in perpetuity. So,
Yes.
Like you said, they're using that as a crowbar to break into that covenant, if you would, that the ranchers had with the land, made that the government secured for them in their rights. That's their right in perpetuity, and they've always improved the land. Look at the guys who count on it aren't going to rape the land. It doesn't make sense, and they use fear tactics to say that you're going to have this problem and that problem and this problem. And we always know that, when the government gets into something, you get a bunch of pencil pushers. They're not making their living off the land. They don't depend on it. Those farmers and ranchers depend on the land. And those guys are going to be the stewards of the land because their lives depend on it. And so
Trump said essentially that when he signed the joint resolution.
So there you have it in a nutshell. That's what this is all about. I don't know what the talking heads are saying out there, but you know what? I can't believe that they're even letting people know that what this issue is about or why. I'm sure they're saying that Donald Trump is destroying all the checks and balances for the environmental, this and that of the West, and he's going to march it across to the East. And look at prosperity is when the government stays out of the pocket of the people. Leave the people alone. Let them figure it out on their own. They always do because they're the ones that depend on it. Free commerce. That's what
Absolutely.
it's about. Thanks.
Absolutely. Okay. Anything else?
I think that's
Okay.
it. I think that's it in
Well,
a nutshell.